Hey everyone, welcome back to that Dynamic Duo podcast. Today, Anja and I will continue talking about the different aspects, different areas of personal growth. And the topic today is intellectual growth. We're going to talk about the benefits of it, why it's important for every one of us to expand our minds, to learn new things, to think critically, be curious, and much more. So stick around because this is going to be fun. Hi, Anja. Welcome to the
Hi,
Dynamic Duo.
Armando.
Welcome to the Dynamic Duo podcast.
Thank you.
How you been doing?
Good, good. I've been doing good. I've had a good week. And how was your week? How are you?
The week was good, busy, productive, summerly. I got a little color on my skin, as you can see. But you too, you keep your glow, your summer glow still, right?
Yeah, I hope it will continue to be nice weather here.
Awesome.
So I like to be in the sun.
Yeah, I know. Take as for our audience, vitamin D. Promote your vitamin D intake. Get in the sun as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's only our advice from people that live here in Europe. If the sun comes out, take advantage of it.
Yes, go outside.
People in Latin America and Mexico, they run away from the sun. They try to
I
keep.
know.
It's like, what is
I
wrong?
know. I that that's one of the first things I told the people in Bolivia when I was there, and they were like walking around with long sleeves and everything, and I was the exact opposite. I was just enjoying the sun. I was walking home from school there, and they were like, "What? That's like an hour," and I was like, "Yes, but it's so nice weather in Switzerland. It's still so cold and raining all the time because it was in probably April,
Yeah,
around around spring. So it was still cold in Switzerland, and I was like,
right.
but just go outside. They
What's
were
wrong?
like, no, what's wrong with you?
They were thinking, what's wrong with this lady?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
She she goes voluntarily into the sun
yes, and walks for hours
and
just
works for
to be
hours.
outside.
I know how important it is, the sun, right? So, I don't use, I don't know what you think about this. This is maybe like a little parenthesis in our topic today, but I never use, well, maybe like 30 years ago, I don't use sunblock at all. You know,
Oh no.
no, because of the chemicals on it, right? Because the biggest organ in our bodies is, of course, the skin. So
Yeah.
so of course I try to be careful because if you expose yourself really like for hours every day, you it's heat. Of course, we have to be careful. But if I pay attention, I take a lot of sun and it doesn't hurt. So,
Hmm.
but just me.
That's just you. Yeah. I
That's
would
just me.
get burned after like 10 minutes. So
Yeah, you have a fairy
I
skin.
need,
That's a little
yes,
different for you. Yeah.
yes.
Well, let's talk about intellectual growth. What do you think?
Yes. Let's
Awesome.
dive in.
This is my favorite, one of my favorites. Not No, I love it. I mean, I love the areas. So far, we have
Mm.
been talking about social growth and emotional growth, and now intellectual growth. If you're
Yeah.
curious, I mean, our audience, you can go back and into our timeline and discover the other two topics that we already covered. But yeah, what do you think about this one, Anya? How high is this on your favorite areas of personal growth?
It's definitely also in the top maybe threes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean I can't choose one that's my favorite, but
Yeah.
I do love this concept of lifelong learning and also exposing myself to different opinions
Right.
and talking to people who have other experiences or think differently than I do. Um, Also, problem solving skills is part of this, which is probably not my favorite part of it, but it's so important because we have problems. I mean, that there you can't live life without having obstacles in your way. So how to get around those, um, that's that's really an interesting thing. And if you learn it, um, you can make your life a little bit easier. So yeah, and also, I mean, I love we're doing a podcast. I love listening to podcasts.
Mm,
I love to listen to other people talk about things that I'm interested in. I love to read.
mm.
Yeah, so this is definitely something I like a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Usually, if we can imagine a um, oh, a chain, right? The chain usually breaks uh, on the spot, with the weakest link, right,
Mhm.
in the chain. And if we can imagine that chain, uh, uh, the chain of personal growth, sometimes time could be an impediment for personal growth, right?
Mhm.
That's a link. Resources, we don't have the resources, books or podcasts or um, a mastermind group. By the way, we have a mastermind coming up, so check it out. Description In the description box, you can find that information. Get in touch with us. But if we don't have access to those things, or schools or whatever, so our resources and or intellect and so on, so we have to be self-aware and think, okay, where am I where am I weak? Where do I need to grow? Because if one of those is too weak, it will break. A personal growth change could break, right? And sometimes uh, the intellectual part, the cognitive part of personal growth suffers because we're too busy, right? We're too busy
Mm.
working and producing, and we don't have time to invest in ourselves. And that's important because that could be the difference between staying at the position, at the level you are, uh, and a promotion. And of course, a different kind of paycheck and so on, right? So, or even at the, of one of the lower or different, not lower, but different levels, even sitting at the table with different people and talking about life. If you don't have nothing to uh, to bring to the table, you will be just sitting there and listening and being lost, not having nothing to contribute. So intellectual growth, very, very important. What do you think, Anja?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, we're we agree on it, I think. Um, and we're both curious people. We both love to
Mm.
read and listen, and yeah, that's why this one comes easy to us. Um, yeah, but was that always the case for you? Were you always
Yes, always. I was just sitting a couple of days ago, yeah, a few weeks, a couple of days ago, with a group of friends and talking about how much kids hate school and getting up and homework I wasn't one of those. I wasn't one
yeah,
of those. I loved school every day. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. And but I understand my kids or other kids if they don't like school, but I love school. And uh every single day. Well, not every single day. That would be an exaggeration. Maybe if I had to take a huge test or something like that, that was not that fun. But I was one of those crazy kids that I love the smell of books.
Mhm.
And not just the smell, but everything that, just that's having a book in my hands and reading and getting into it and analyzing the different concepts and things like that. That exercise, the critical thinking exercise, was always for me a part of me, and I took advantage of it. I always wanted to know more. Ask questions. Why? Who said that? What is the reason? Why? And so, just thinking critically was very appealing to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Um, I wouldn't say I loved school, especially like in the teenage years, and um, I wasn't, I didn't love school, but I would say I was always interested, and especially when like in my 20s, it started that I never stopped. I had something to learn all the time. I
Mm,
did my bachelor's degree and then I did this course and then I did this thing and then I read this book. And yeah, I mean, I also, if you look at my bookshelf, it's a lot of business books and not a lot of stories. It's more knowledge books than uh, any stories or anything. So yeah, I would say at least as an adult, I was always very interested in learning and growing in that area.
and you mentioned something very important. I mean, I don't. Thank you for mentioning that. I don't think loving school means necessarily growing intellectually, and
Yeah.
and 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 I think there are many ways to learn and growth, and school is not for everyone. It sounds weird to say that, but I mean, I think we have different styles of learning, and some people uh, do. I know of people that they never went to college, for example, and they are
Mhm.
very successful, family, business wise, very smart, very creative, and so on and so forth. And for them, probably going to college, it, who knows, but they chose other path, right? So there are different ways of growing intellectually, even if we don't go to school, I believe.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we just have to, if you have that gene, that curious gene, just that I want to know why. If you have that, that's a biggie. That's a big one.
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Well,
definitely.
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, don't.
No, I was just thinking about the different aspects. I mean, maybe we can talk about one of those, and then maybe a couple of tips before we leave. But I
Mhm.
was thinking about, for example, of course, the cognition. To just being smart and creative and being able to think. Right. And that our brain is like a muscle. If you use it, it's going to be stronger and bigger, right? Bigger brain, a good thing, right? So in the case of a brain, bigger is better. So yes, you have to you have to grow your brain, use it, people, right? Of course, eating well, sleeping well, not too much alcohol and things like that. Huge thing. Be smart, and take care of your brain. So
Yes.
take care of your brain. So yeah, but also you mentioned something, and I would like to maybe like expand on that one. You were thinking, you mentioned thinking critically. How
Mhm.
important is that, Anya, in our day?
Well, I think it's more important than ever, probably because we're bombarded with information on social media, the news, everywhere. People tell you things, and it's very important to be able to think about the information you get and not just accept it for what it is, especially with social media. Social media is designed to show you what you like.
Mm,
So while this is, I mean, I don't want to judge if it's good or bad, but if you like a certain and watch a certain area, you're gonna get more of this.
hmm
That's how social media is designed. And it's very important that you don't, or that you realize that this is not the whole truth. Maybe it's not always even true.
Mm,
But that's, I think it's very important that we question everything we get, and that we don't just take it as the truth just because we've seen it on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter. We've read it on Twitter or what X, whatever, or just because we saw it on the news. Um, I think it's very important that we see and that we look for different sources, and then maybe we see more of the whole picture.
mm,
Maybe we probably don't even see the whole picture then, but you see more of it. And I think that's nowadays that's very, very important, especially because social media is designed the way it is,
mm,
that you don't just take everything for the truth that you
mm.
see.
At face value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so important, very important. I mean, I believe it was the Austrian philosopher. Is that Austrian? I think it's Austrian philosopher, Pope. That I'm gonna butcher this, but basically he promoted the idea of asking questions, and in that we ask questions, we'll come closer and closer to the truth. So just
Yeah.
ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, and yeah, very important. Well,
Yeah.
Anja, before we depart, you have a couple of tips. I mean, what can we do to promote our intellectual growth?
Well, we've mentioned what we do and what we like to do is listening to podcasts, reading books, watching documentaries, or I don't know.
What's
Yeah.
your
And
favorite?
um, right now it's reading books, but I'm in between books and
And
podcasts,
podcast.
probably.
Mhm.
It depends a little bit on where and when.
Right, right.
Yeah. And also like do it in different areas. Don't just focus on only one, and don't focus on only one source, but really be open to different opinions. I think that's really important. Be open to discussions with other people that are that have a different opinion, that
Yes.
are differently. Yeah. Um, Journaling, we've mentioned
Mm,
journaling. That's also, I think, very important to get the ideas and the things you learned back out. And that's also one more tip. What you practice, what you learn. Don't
mm,
just learn,
mm.
learn, but really go out and practice what you learned, or share what you learned. Tell it to someone. This makes it a lot more whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I miss something, or do you have anything
No, I
else?
mean, I love your list. I mean, I agree with you. Absolutely. I can only agree with you. That's awesome. That's awesome. If I could be just like emphasize one of the aspects you
Yeah.
mentioned, is emphasizing the importance of questioning. I mean, we mentioned that last time, ask questions in regard to social skills, being interested in other people, ask
Mhm.
questions to find out more who that person is and so on and so forth. But in this time, what I mean by questioning is, um, hopefully you understand what I mean, our audience, is that uh, doubt everything. Doubt, like don't take it at face value. It's just like, well, we need a level of trust. Of course, without trust we will not be able to function as people, as society, as family. Of course we need that, but be smart in the sense, just like gather the facts, and question, and doubt, and in the sense that you will be encouraged to find out more. If you have, I mean, and of course, I believe one of the reasons people don't pay a lot of attention and time to intellectual growth is because it's demanding.
Yes.
It's very, very demanding, and it takes a lot of energy. And going back to the brain, I mean, it consumes so much energy and so much calories, really. If you think, you will burn a lot of calories. So if you want to lose weight, think, please.
Think more.
Think more. But yeah, but it's demanding. and sometimes you come to a crossroads, and sometimes you come to an impasse, and you have to be creative, and so on and so forth. And we already mentioned a lot of things that we can do to promote it, but if question, and if you have the right heart and the right mind, I think you will be encouraged to learn and to ask and inform and share and listen and so on and so forth. So yeah, I will encourage people just to do that.
Yeah. Be like the little kid that asks, but why?
Yeah.
But why?
That's awesome. Yeah, be like kids, ask questions. And why?
Yes.
Very nice, Anja. Well, anything else you want to share with our audience before we leave today?
No, I think that's a good way to end.
Awesome. Well, next time we'll be back with another area, another aspect of personal growth. So stay tuned. Until then, we wish you all a successful and blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye.